That's a useful reminder and also history lesson for those tuning in. And before we get into higher ed itself, just looking at the knowledge economy more generally, because obviously you think about the use of AI in lots of different industries. I'm just curious, for you to prognosticate. You said you're sort of in between the two poles, right? Of the skeptics on the one hand, the Ethan Maliks on the other. How, at the moment, what's your best guess or thinking on, 15 years from now, how it has changed knowledge work?
I mean, the updated Turing test I care about is when an AI-based tool can empty my inbox for me, right? I think that's the functional Turing test that matters when we're thinking about transformation in the knowledge work sphere. In order to do that, there's a lot of things that AI is going to have to be able to do. I wrote a New Yorker piece about this last spring. A language model by itself can't do this. A language model can digest an email. It can, in some sense, capture semantically what's being said in that email. So it could re-summarize it. It could put it in different languages or words. It can pull out the main points. But to act on an email, this requires things like forward-looking planning, predicting the future. It requires you to have a functional model of other people and other people's minds that's more explicit than what's just implicitly captured in language models. And so, I think what that's going to require, and this is what I wrote about in the New Yorker, was multimodal systems where you have a language model to deal with the language. You're going to have a theory of mind model. You're going to have a future prediction model kind of based on the way we play games with computers now to try to simulate the impact of various decisions to find the right one. All of these are going to work together. That, I think, is going to be pretty interesting. So if you have an AI that could answer an email, you now have a functional assistant that is digital. That, I think, is transformative because, of course, a big part of my writing about digital knowledge work is the degree to which we have added too many total things on the plate of knowledge workers and too much of a diversity of things on the plate of knowledge workers, and the human brain is suffering. So I really am closely following those type of movements. Like, how do we get closer to a functional assistant AI? The language model piece was a big problem, and they solved it. So now we have to focus on the other pieces, which I actually think are easier. It's just a matter of people actually starting to do that work.